Hey out there. This is March 11th, 2015. And it's about, pretty close to 7:30 West Coast time here in Northern California. And I'm going to try to be succinct with this video. It's not easy for me. I tend to be long-winded and digress into different subjects. But I'm creating this video to give people a better idea of the project that I'm trying to start on GoFundMe. Now, I haven't started the project yet, but at the time of the release of this video, I want to try to release this video concurrently, simultaneously, with opening the GoFundMe account and the project that I want to fund. So that's the purpose of this video today, and I'd like to stay on track as much as I can. In a nutshell, I believe at this point in history that there's no accountability in our government. There's not a semblance, much less an iota, of liability, accountability, checks and balances, and I believe it's essential that we get some of that in there. If there's any hope for salvaging not only America, but all over the world, these rascals, this Illuminati class, the New World Order class, this murderous gaggle of ruthless thugs at the very top that are pulling the strings of the puppets being the politicians. They're in collusion. It's a private, public enterprise. They're a monopoly of special interest groups that are dead set against the American people, not only the American, humanity at large. And you can see the evidence of this in the Georgia Guidestones. They proudly display these new 10 commandments they have set up. That sounds so benevolent and altruistic until you understand that this is after they've got the earth down to 500 million from its current 7+ billion that it is right now. So you understand, these are not nice people. They do not have good intentions for humanity. And I feel like, people confront these people all the time. I mean, people like JFK, Martin Luther King Jr., just to name a couple of the more recent historical figures that have had the courage to stand up against these people. And there's quite a few more in the media arena. I notice there's a lot of very brave, bold journalists like Alex Jones out there that stand up and say, look, you know what? I know you hate me. You don't hate me with any justification, and you certainly can't rightfully detest me, because I wish no ill will to anybody, but we're going to stand up in your face. So I admire and respect anybody out there that stands up to these people and says, I'm on record. I am opposed to the establishment. Yes, I want God's will to be accomplished on earth. And the only way that's going to happen is through confronting the evil that has taken over, that has hijacked humanity, that has hijacked our destiny and wants to create humanity in their image and likeness, like a monster. That's what they want. They want a permanent underclass created, a miserable bunch of, just subservient devils. They don't care. And then they've got the other class. It's just the haves and the have-nots. That's what they want. They want a permanent, like India, but brought up to the nth degree, where you got the caste system. If you're born into one social economic status, you're supposed to stay there and just suck it up. You're the untouchable, and that's just fate. It's God's karma or whatever they want to call it. But I'm here to tell you, I don't buy that line of bull at all, and I'm not going to sit back and be okay with that in any way, shape, or form. I'm going to stand up loudly and gladly and get in the face of anybody that opposes good and the will of good being accomplished on earth. And so that's what this GoFundMe, that's just kind of a lead in to what this project is specifically. But it is specifically about being a thorn in their side, And this is one way I can do it. Now, I want to tell you, I got my real estate license several years back in 2006 here in California. I got the 4-year license, which meant I had to take extra classes. I learned real estate economics. And, I was very outspoken because I already understood economics very well. And I knew that we were getting financially raped up one side, down the other. But I didn't know the ins and outs. I've learned actually a lot more online. I learned about the Glass-Steagall Act, which Bill Clinton turned out to be the biggest traitor in American history. It was the worst thing he could have done for the common man in America, to allow these bankers to just go wild west on us and dump all this money on us. And again, no accountability. The politicians are colluding. They bailed them out. They allowed them to do, it was a takeover. I mean, it was, nails in the coffin. The JFK assassination was really sealing the deal pretty good, because nobody was ever held to account. Nobody of any note. I mean, Jack Ruby, Sirhan, and who's the other guy they framed for the patsy for Lee Harvey Oswald? It's ridiculous, absurd. Over 65% of the American people to this day don't believe the official story. It's a bunch of bull. So we know how we're getting raped up one side, down the other. We know you people don't care about our party affiliation. If we're conservative, liberal, male, female, you don't care what our religion is, or if we're irreligious, you don't care what our sexual orientation is, you don't care what our race, creed, color, or anything else is. You don't care about our economic class. All you care about is having things your way. Staying at the top of the heap. Your symbolic heap on the back of the $1 bill. That's who these people are. And yes, I want to confront these very people. I'd like to make their lives miserable. And I'd like to intimidate them, not with violence, but just with getting in their face and with dogged determinedness, and just say, no, you know what? I know. I'm ready to be a foot soldier. I'm almost 57 years old. And it's time I gave my life to a good cause. Okay? And it's time my children had something to look back and say, my dad was a decent human being. That's it. That's all I want. That's the fame I want. I don't care. I just want to point you to God. Okay? That's the one that put it in my heart to do these things. That has commissioned me. That has commanded me. That has compelled me to go forth, and given me the courage and the strength, the wherewithal to want to do this project. And what I want to do is I want to just be a thorn in the side of the New World Order, the Illuminati class who's been running roughshod over humanity. Again, a public-private partnership. These people are diabolical and cunning. They know what they're doing. They use propaganda very well. They use fuzzy math and things like this. They'll tell you, hey, well, look, the percentage of poor people is the same now as it was 20 years ago. I mean, maybe it's a little less. We got a little lower percentage. But, if we're talking numbers, you understand how devious they are. So let's say, the microcosm, there was 100 homeless people, really abjectly poor people. Just as an example, 20 years ago. And now, which was 50%, let's say. They said we can afford in our budget to take care of 50%. Other than that, we got to get more revenue. So it's these poor people's fault that you got to have your taxes raised so that we can subsidize housing. Who really were subsidizing landlords, driving up the cost of housing. They want to do that. See, the government agencies want to do that because they get more taxes, right? The higher the property taxes are, residential property taxes, they want to raise that. Do you understand how this works? It's a snake eating its tail. It's a problem that's never meant to go away. It's just meant to increase. So the actual numbers of poor people could increase dramatically, but they'll still say, well, wait, we're making progress. We got 50, we're taking care of 55% of the people. And that's through, affirmative action. You got to take care of the women and children. Of course, we all understand that first. But, by necessity, they discriminate against somebody. They could discriminate against men who, well, it's tough. We don't have enough money for them, too. And, they suck it up, dude. You're a man. You got to, go die out in the cold. When the whole system is conducive to making people not want to play. It's just we all know it's a rigged game. Anybody with a quarter of a brain knows the game is rigged. They don't want to play. I don't want to play. Not the way it is. It makes me sick. I can't see being rich. What the hell? In a world like this where you get more and more people just falling into poverty and just, getting disheartened at the system and saying, look, you know what? Leave the job for the guy with the wife and the kids. He needs it more than me. I mean, this is the reality, folks. We've got to understand what's going on here. It's ugly. It's social Darwinism. That's a scientific term. It's dog eat dog. They've got us devouring each other. They've got us at each other's throats and miserable, hyper competition, where they're playing supply and demand with human beings. We don't need you anymore. Just go off and die. Okay, this is what they're doing to us, and I am going to stand against that. I don't like them. Okay, and I'm going to demand, just like Jesus, these are hypocrites. These are hypocrites. That's enough. You don't need to know any more about this New World Order Illuminati class. These are definitely devout. They can't hide from that truth. Okay, these people are getting exposed more and more day by day. I know prophecy from the Bible. I know that these people will go down. That's the true fate of what is to come, and they know it too. Okay, and the only way I'm a threat to any of these people, the only reason they have to hate me is because I'm bringing them the truth. I'm saying, no, you can't escape from it. No, I'm going to hold you accountable. And the way I'm going to do it is through intimidating them with the truth. Okay, I'm not going to intimidate them with violence because I'm a non-violent guy. Okay, I'm on record over and over stating that. I don't want to hurt anybody. Accidentally, I don't want to hurt anybody, much less on purpose. Okay, I'm not a mean-spirited person, and I'm not a violent person. I adhere to what the teachings of the Bible say, and it says that God hates, the soul of God hates those that love violence. So I want to do the opposite of love violence. I want to hate it, and I do hate it. Nonetheless, here's the project in a nutshell, because I've got to get this out there, okay? I've done enough research to know what I'm getting into here. And what I'm asking for is $500,000. $500,000, I think, will get this project started. And what that'll do, it'll purchase a fighter jet. Okay, and the fighter jet is among the most versatile, quickest planes available anywhere. Best, I mean, strongest and just maneuverable. And it's safe, too. You got the ejection seat, so if ever there's something goes wrong, God forbid, the pilot and co-pilot can escape. So that's what I've got designs on. Getting a used but in good condition, good working order fighter jet without too many hours. And I'm looking mainly the best deals, because American ones are very expensive. You get into the F-15s and stuff like that. Doesn't seem to be a lot available from my research. That's within price range and within the reasonable amount of hours, because you get too many hours on these things and they run into the spectrum of not being as safe. So, you know, it's something to take into concern. But I located a MiG jet for $185,000. I actually saw one for as low as $65,000, which wouldn't be bad to get the details on, but I have a feeling it's not one that's been maintained particularly well at that price. That's very low for a MiG fighter jet. And this is the MiG-29 I'm talking about, which has been in use for decades. And it's got a pretty good record. I mean, not flawless, but these guys are daredevils, these fighter pilots, and they do stuff that, you know, your average pilot just wouldn't try in these machines. So, you know, I'm not looking for a daredevil pilot. I'm just looking for a guy that wants to get back up in the sky. There's the other expense right there. So we got the purchase of the plane, paying customs, VAT. I might end up going to Russia, get the best deal, and make sure it gets shipped back and everything. And I could bring it right here to Chico. That's the idea. There's an airport that can accommodate the plane right here. I've already talked to the people at the airport, and yes, definitely a MiG fighter jet can land here. They've had air shows here, so I already assumed that you could land a MiG jet here. So it could be stationed right here. Just pay the cost of a hangar or whatever it costs to keep it outside somewhere safely and under the security of they got a regular tower there, and flight tower. So, you know, there are our storage facilities available locally right where I am, so I can oversee this project. Now I want to pay myself $50,000, 1/10 of this, for my trouble, and that is simply to bring this thing together. Okay, that's all I am. I am simply acting as a coordinator. That will be my job. I need to have a maintenance mechanic. I understand mechanical things. I've taken care of vehicles through the years, and I do a good job at it. But I'm not qualified to take care of a MiG-29 fighter jet. So you need to get a mechanic. Now, the likelihood of finding one between where I am in Chico and Redding, which is 60 miles away, are very good. And beyond that, Sacramento is just 100 miles south of where I am. So having a mobile mechanic come up on a regular basis, and if any repairs are ever needed, is another expense that will be incurred that I have calculated into this. I want to take care of the mechanic and pay the prevailing wage, make sure he's happy. And it might require a team of mechanics. These guys might work together. There might be things that are best done together, and two minds are better than one. And the pilot is another concern. That's going to be $100,000 a year for an experienced jet fighter pilot. And this is one that's going to be qualified, that's not going to be reticent to go up in a MiG fighter jet, okay, and that's going to enjoy the adventure of wanting to get back up into the sky again. And here's the object, okay, this is what the whole project is about. It's about getting up there on a day when they start spraying